How to light a tight bathroom. Hello everybody, my name is Mark Bagnoli, I'm a cinematographer, and today I'm going to show you a commercial where they have a little scratch in a bathroom. And a lot of you probably notice when you're shooting in a bathroom, it's a very tight space, not much possibilities to do a lighting setup. But in this cinematography breakdown, I'm going to show you several techniques how you can replicate in your next project so that your bathroom shots looks a lot better. This is the first shot we're looking at, and this is actually the end of the sketch where this guy is showing the toilet paper to the dog, but the story doesn't matter at this point. You want to know, how can I create a similar look like this? Before we talk about lighting or anything that depends on technique, you have to look at the room. What makes this room so special? And it's the tiles. As you notice, the whole bathroom is covered with them. Everything is blue. And there's a reason for it why they are blue, because it's a nice complementary color to skin tones. Most of the time ads work with complementary colors, because when you're shooting an ad or reel something like this, you want to catch the view of the audience. So colors that separate from each other and really pop when you put something in front of it really takes the attention of the viewer. And this is what they've done here. And this is also the reason why this shot looks good. A lot of bathrooms have this ugly white color and a very clean, very boring. It's always better to have a ugly bathroom with a lot of colors and weird tiles than just have a plain white one. So how do I set up a scene like this? First, I want to set my angle. Put the camera down on a sack or something like this on this angle, on a low boy, or put it the other way around. It depends on how huge your setup is. But what they've done nicely here is put always your white behind the door. Always show the door, the other room, because this frames our scenery. Now our view is more focused on this guy because we limit the view of the audience. Also, we are not even just limiting the view, also creating depth. We have here a nice dark, very close to underexposing and clipping black wall. So this information is gone and we look at the guy. So next thing you should do is, and always look for it, the window in the room. Try to expose for it. It depends which mood you want to do. Do you want an overexposed clean look where everything's glowing? Or do you want a clean, more moody look like here? Because this shot overall, when the context would be different, the posing and he looks away and it's dramatic, covered in blood or something like this, this would actually be a dramatic movie lighting setup. Because of the context, it feels totally different. So don't just assume that every look just is for one mood. You can switch it up in the context when it looks good and it works and supports the story. Because we have a dramatic situation, we have problems with the toilet paper, so you can argue that it's right. So here they've gone for a bit of a clipping look, but it's actually not clipping. So we have our highlights, but we actually remove the details from the outside. What I mean with that, most of the time here we could be on the first floor, on the 10th floor, we don't know, but here would be cars, that's a nice looking car, trees, and sometimes we don't want it. It distracts everything that we set up here in the center of the room. So we put something like a butterfly behind the window, and when everything is dark, maybe this is a set, you would bounce light into it, and now you set the overexposure of the window by yourself. Or what you can do is you build a black box. You go practically outside when this is the house from upside, and here would be the window. You would build with negative fill a box so that no light is entering, and then you put your butterfly in here and your light on a low boy and blast the light into the butterfly, and now we have full control over the exposure of the light. How much contrast do you want? How much light should enter the scenery? And I think that's a look and a tool you will use a lot in your career because we're working with a lot of windows. But what the window also does is it gives us a sense from where the light is coming from. So when you look at this image, the key light, only possible way is to come from here. So how do we fit a light in a scene like this. Most of the time that you can only use big sources when you're working in a studio. In a studio, you don't have a ceiling most of the time. So you can just mount lights from above, which have a bigger source, a lot more creamier, and just target the person. But just let's imagine this isn't a set. So what are the possible ways you can do? First thing is work with carpet lights, or something like F22, Godox 600, just brought out lights with that have not much depth. A Aperture 600D or G4M or Godox with a light dome takes so much room in your room, and that's not good. Godox 600, I talk about this light a lot because I really like the size and the output. Has similar output, nice softness, and it's only like this thick. You can really, this light would be possible to put here in the corner and cover it. But an aperture with the light dome will look like this. So the shot is ruined and doesn't help us working that way. Other thing is, when you use things like an F22, you're much more on the smaller side, use cat poles. When this is a wall, this is a room, they're actually a tool where you can extend two pipes and they will press against each wall. And now here you can put a light. So you build practically your own rigging system on the ceiling. There's cat pole, there are wall breakers. Wall breakers are a lot more sturdy, but they also break your wall sometimes. So when you're at a location and it doesn't matter that the wall's getting a little bit scratches or something like this, you would use a wall breaker. Otherwise, you would use a cat pole. They're much more softer to the wall, but they also cannot carry as much light. But just for an F22 or an Astera, it's totally fine. And that's what they probably done here when this is not a set. When this is a set, they can put whatever light they like. Sky panel with softbox, maybe in 120 sky panel with a softbox. Sometimes I like this wider lights a bit more so that we have a nice wrap that just hitting him right. Next problem of a bathroom is because we have not much space, light is bouncing everywhere. When you have most problematic is when you just have a white room. It's terrible, and that's the reason you need a lot of negative fill. Every wall possible that is not in the frame, even here in the front and here, you throw black material at there so that the light is not bouncing back and you're creating more contrast. Then the next thing you should never forget, here it happens automatically, but don't forget to light the wall, the floor or something like this, because when you only light the person, it feels very lit. You often have to look at your projects and think, I have this huge softbox, build everything. Why does it so lit? This look is soft, the light is soft. The reason is your whole scenery doesn't translate your lighting language, because when light is hitting him, it also hits the wall. So try to get a little bit of a light shaft. You see it a lot in movies, commercials. When there's a wall, they're just half lit with a little bit of gradient so that we can see, from there is the light direction, and not only he is getting light, also the wall. Then sometimes you throw a little light shaft on the ground when it fits the scenery so that we create more layers of light and the whole scene just works together. When we're going in for the close-up, you will probably notice something changed. The light is a lot softer, and this happens a lot. When you go in for the close-up, you can throw some diffusion 6x6, 4x4 in between, or just a frost frame and your hard source, because when you're shooting whites, you need to light harder to create contrast. But on a close-up, it doesn't look as flattering. So you just throw in a diffusion, put a little bit more power into the light, and this is how we get then this nice soft look on his face. But we're still dramatic. We don't go for a lot of Rembrandt. The face is half lit. Don't be scared to a half lit look. I think a lot of people always try to move the light a little bit, and they always want this Rembrandt light. You don't need it most of the time. When the light is coming from the side, let the light feel like it's coming from the side. When it's fit the mood, you want it to be dramatic. Don't overthink everything, but it has to look perfect, because the world doesn't look perfect. These imperfections are what makes the cinematography a lot better. So if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a subscription from you. Check out the links in the description. My name is Marco Bagnoli and I'll see you next time.